Hello everyone, I'm Arunima from Knit and Knotter, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make the Holly Jolly Lights square that I designed for the Winter Wonder Squares Cal. There are a bunch of techniques that are used in this square, so I'm going to go through all of them, and you can follow along and make this square with me. I'm going to make a small portion of it, so I'm going to make just about this much because the rest of it is just a repeat of the same thing. But I'll walk you through it so you'll know what to do exactly. And the techniques that are used in this are, so there is single crochet that's done only in the back loop. I have a foundation single crochet row that I've made here. There are some front post stitches which are made, so these are double crochet front post stitches, so we'll talk about those. And I have some embroidery that's going on over here. I'm not the best of at embroidery, so I'm just going to tell you what I did. I really won't know what embroidery stitches I used. And there is some surface crochet to make this string. So it sounds like a lot, but it really is not. Once you get a hang of the stitches, it should be fairly easy to make. And I'll walk you through each step. And again, I'm going to, because there's a lot of repetition in this square, I'm going to forward a few sections as I'm making the square. So things that are very repetitive where you don't really need to be following along, I'm just going to forward those. So let me know if you have any questions later in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer anything that you need help with. So let's get started. I used two kinds of yarn for this. So one is the base, which is this part. That is the Lily Sugar and Cream yarn. It's not this color that I used. I used the color Ecru for the base here, and I used the same yarn for filling the lights up, which is, I think it's Mod Green and Blackcurrant. And I used a light weight yarn, the Loops and Threads Wool-like, to make this string because I wanted it to be a thin line. So these are the ones that I'm going to use in this tutorial as well, so that you can see how to make this exactly. So here we go. According to the instructions, I'm going to go row by row. So the first row is create a foundation single crochet row of 27 stitches. So I'm going to make a slip knot and start making 27 foundation single crochet stitches. So you are welcome to make 27 chains and then single crochet stitches on top, but if you would like to use this technique, I have a separate video for this. So all the tutorials that I mention, or all the techniques that I mention in this video, I will have a link to a playlist in the description below, so you won't have to go looking for individual videos. You'll be able to click on that playlist and get everything in one place. So let's get started with this one. So I'm going to make a foundation single crochet row of 27 stitches. So starting with my 2 chain, and that's 1, so here is my foundation single crochet row with 27 stitches, and that completes the row 1. Again, you are welcome to make 27 chains and then your single crochets on top of that. That is totally fine. So that completes row 1. Moving on to row 2. Now for row 2, I have to turn. So at the end of row 1, I'm going to turn. So this is the wrong side of the project. and I'm going to chain, and now there is 27 single crochets in the back loop only. So this is the front loop, that's the back loop. I'm going to make a single crochet in the back loop, and I'm going to continue doing that throughout this row. So that'll give me 27 single crochet stitches in the back loop. So this is the end of row 2. I have 27 single crochet stitches in the back loop only. I'm going to turn, and for row 3 it's the exact same thing. 27 single crochets in the back loop only. So that's 1, 2, so that's the end of row 3. Again, that's 27 single crochet stitches in the back loop only. Now I'm going to turn. So here I am at the beginning of row 4. This row is going to be different from the other rows that we've made so far. This is where we'll start creating that light pattern, the pattern for the lights. So if you look at the swatch, the square here, this part here, this is what we'll make for in this row. So to begin, I'm going to make 4 single crochets in the back loop. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 single crochet back loop only stitches, and now I'm going to make the first special stitch. That special stitch consists of 3 stitches, and that will make the bottom V of the lights. So that will consist of these 3. This is what we'll cover, the next 3 stitches, and the instructions call for making front post double crochet stitch. I have a separate tutorial for showing how to make front post double crochet stitches, but what we'll make here is slightly different because we don't really have a double crochet yet. We're just establishing the pattern. So for that reason, I'm going to make that stitch in the front loop of the single crochet stitches from row 2. So if you go to row 2 stitches here, they were made in the back loop only, and this is the front loop. So I'm going to make my stitch in the front loop here. So this is going to be my next stitch where I'm on top of which the double crochet will be made, and because it's a V, I'm going to skip this one, go to the next, and find the stitch that is right below it and make my post stitch here. So that is going to be, so I'm at the 4th one now. I'm making my 5th stitch of the row, but I'm going to make it in the 6th stitch here. So you just have to see that this is the one that you're making. So go to the next one, find the one right below it, and make your front post double crochet there. So how I do it is yarn over, and this is the one right below the 5th. So this is my 6th. I go from bottom to top, I insert my hook that way, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. That makes my double crochet, front post double crochet in the front loop only. So now I'm going to skip the stitch here that I would have normally made my single crochet in, and I'm going to make a single crochet back loop only here, and then I'm going to make another front post double crochet in the same place as before. So I'm going to yarn over, and then in the same front loop, that's where I pick it up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that sort of makes a V pattern here, so that's like a V, and that makes the bottom of the light. So that is all that there is to this first special stitch. So anywhere you see the special stitch one mentioned, that's all you're supposed to do. You just find the stitch that is the front loop of 2 stitches next and make your double crochet there, make a single crochet in the back loop only, and then a front post double crochet again. So that sort of makes that V. It's going to show up multiple times in this video, so you'll be able to see it again. So the next set of instructions is to make 5 single crochet back loops. So you have to skip that third stitch as well. It's basically not adding any stitches to the row. Now making 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets in the back loop, and then make that special stitch, the first special stitch again, which is identify the front loop of from 2 rows back, 2 stitches forward. So 2 stitches forward, 2 rows back, it's this one here, and that's where I'm going to insert my hook for the front post double crochet, the front loop only. So that, and then I'm going to skip a stitch, make my single crochet in the back loop, and then make that front post stitch again in the same place as before. Again, skip that stitch and then make 5 single crochet in the back loop. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now that is done, and then we make that special stitch, the first one again. So 2 forward and 2 down, so that's this one, and that's where I'm going to make it. Single crochet back loop only, and then the front post double crochet, and then we skip the stitch behind it. And to end the row, there's 4 single crochet back loops. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that maintains the count. There should be 27 stitches on this row, including the double crochets, and that is how it looks at the end of row 4. Now moving on to row 5. Row 5 is the exact same as row 3, where you turn and you chain and make single crochet back loop only stitches throughout the row. So that will be 27 single crochet back loop only stitches. That's the end of row 5, and I turn. Now this is the forward, this is the right side again on this side here. So row 6 is again slightly different in that we will make some more, one more special stitch. That's the special stitch 2. The special stitch 2, all that it does is it makes the top of the light. So we close this V here, and I'll show you how to do that. So row 6 calls for chain and then 5 single crochet back loops in the back loop only. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then the special stitch 2. So the special stitch 2 is front post DC2 together. So you have to do 2 front post double crochets, and the first one goes here at the first double crochet below. So that yarn over, pull through 2 and leave that one on the hook, and yarn over, and the second double crochet at the second double crochet here. The second front post double crochet and the second double crochet from the previous 2 rows below. So that's 2, and yarn over, pull through all of them. So that's combining them and making that little making that closed V. So that closes this light, so that sort of makes one light. Now you'd have to skip 1 stitch and make 7 single crochet back loop only. So that's pretty much it for the special stitches. So the one we talked about 2 rows back was to make that bottom V, and this is the upside down V. So that's all about the special stitches. There's not much more to it. So now I'm going to make 7 single crochet in back loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the next stitch again is the special stitch 2, and I'm going to make my front post double crochet here, front post double crochet here, and that's 2 together. So that's how it is, that's how it looks. Now skip that one and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then make that special stitch again. So that's the special stitch 2, that's double crochet 2 together, front post double crochet 2 together, so that makes that last one. And then we end it with 5 single crochets in the back loop only. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that completes one row of lights. That's all that there is to make these lights. It's fairly straightforward. You just need to know how to make those front post double crochet stitches. So that's the end of row 6. I'm going to move on to the next row. So moving on to row 7. Rows 7, 8 and 9 are exactly the same. It's 27 single crochet back loop only stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and make those and come back and show you how they look. So I'm going to make row 7, row 8, and row 9. So this is how it looks at the end of row 9, and I'm going to start making row 10 now. So row 10 is start with a chain and 8 single crochet back loop only. So I'm going to make my 8 single crochets in the back loop. So now that I have my 8, I am going to make my special stitch, and that's going to be the first special stitch, and it's the exact same as before. I go 2 stitches forward, 1 2 and 2 rows back, and this is the front loop that I'm going to make that front post double crochet in. So here, and then I skip a stitch in the back and make a single crochet back loop only here, and then another front post double crochet stitch in the same place as the front post double crochet as before. So that makes my V, which makes sure that the lights are staggered. They're not in the same, they're not in line. So this one is right in between the other two. So after making that first special stitch of the row, I'm going to make 5 single crochet stitches in the back loop only. So that's 1 2 3 4 5, and then the next special stitch goes here. So that's 1 2 3. So I'm going to go 2 stitches forward, 1 2 and 2 rows back. So this is where I'm going to make my front post double crochet. So that's 1, and then I'm going to skip 1 stitch, make a single crochet back loop only, make another front post double crochet in the front loop only in the same place as before, skip 1, and now I should have 8 stitches, so 8 single crochet back loop only. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. So that completes row 10. And I'm going to go ahead and make row 11 because it's the exact same as the earlier rows with just 27 single crochet back loop stitches. So I'm going to make that and come back. So here I am at the end of row 11. I just completed a row of single crochet back loop only stitches. And I'm going to now make my row 12, which is chain and then single crochet back loop only in the first 9. So that's 1, and now I'm going to make my special stitch 2, which is just closing that V there. So that's double crochet, front post double crochet 2 together. The first leg goes here and the second leg goes in the second one, and skip the one behind it, and then it is 7 single crochet back loop only. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and then it's another special stitch 2. So that's making a front post double crochet 2 together, then skip that stitch, and then we ended it with 9 single crochet back loop only stitches. So that's how it looks. after the end of row 12, I'm not going to make the rest of the rows because it's all a repeat of these rows that I've already made. So you can just keep following the instructions and continue making this square. And if you want the complete set of instructions, they're all on my blog. You'll find a link to it in the description below. It's a free pattern available on my blog. And so this is how we make the base. Now I'm going to quickly show you how to fill color in one of these lights, and I'll also show you how to surface crochet the string onto it. So I'm going to embroider one of these lights. So I'm going to pick this one. I have this yarn which is the same company. It's Lily Sugar and Cream, and I just used a different color. So I'm going to start with this. I'm going to make it in this one, embroider this one. So I'm just going to insert my needle from behind into the top of the V here. Leave a little bit of a tail in the back so that I can weave this in later. And I'm not an expert at embroidering, so there might be a better way to do this, but what I did was I went top to bottom. So at the base of this V and the base of this V. So I'm just gonna pull, and then I'm going to go back in here, make another vertical line, so that's 2, and then I went horizontal just to make sure it pops. So this V here is at the base of this V to at the base of that V. So I got my needle here, to the other side, did it twice, and then one horizontal again. So here and all the way to the top. So that's all I did. That's how I embroidered my lights. And you can cut the yarn here, or if you'd like to carry it over to the, it's not as neat as mine is because okay, here. So that's how it looks in the back for the most part. I carried this thread all the way to the next light and made my lights in the same line of the same color. So I have 3 of these blackcurrant, 2 more green. So you can choose whatever colors you'd like. You can make them all of a different color, or you can make them all of the same color, or whichever pattern you choose. But that's pretty much how you embroider color into each of these lights. In the next section, I'm going to show you how to surface crochet the string for these lights. Now I'm going to show you how I surface crocheted the string for the lights. So the black section, I freehanded it, so I don't have I probably have a guideline in the pattern for it, but I don't have exact stitches where you want to make this. You could skip this altogether if you'd like, or you could freehand it. I'm just going to quickly show you how I did it. So I have this the thinner wool-like yarn. Again, you could pick whichever yarn you want for this. I wanted a thin line, so I picked this one. So I'm going to attach it somewhere here. Again, there's no fixed spot. I'm just going to freehand it. And it's I have a separate video for how to surface crochet that you can check out, so I'm not going to explain how to do it here. I'm just going to do it. So I'm going to just go find some space and make the string, just making sure that I get the top of each of these lights. So I got this one, and I'm going to get this one next. So I'm just going to find a path to get to the next one. I didn't want them to be a straight line. You could choose for them to be a straight line, and you could just make it in this line of single crochets out here, but I didn't go for the straight line, so this is what I did. And the best thing about surface crochet is that if you don't like the string that you've made, you can just pull it out and you can make it again. So going back, going up again, because this is where the top of the next light is. And this doesn't have to be perfect. This doesn't, all your surface crochet stitches are not supposed to be the same length. You see here how I went from here all the way to the top. Again, if I were making my square, I would have undone it, because I wanted a more wavy kind of string like you see here. So I don't really have peaks like these. So I've undone it and made more of a U here, but I'm just showing you how I did it. So there's a lot of trial and error here, and I tried a few things and I stuck with the surface crocheted part when I liked it. Otherwise I frogged it. So you can continue keep doing this, and then find a path all the way till here. That's the top of the slide, and then turn around and go here, and then here, and then all the way to all of your lights. So that's pretty much it. That's all that there is to this, to making this square. This is how it should look eventually. And if you have any questions about it, you're welcome to reach out to me. And I hope you have fun making this square. I enjoyed designing it, and I hope you think of winter when you do make it. It reminds me of winter, of Christmas, of the festivals that winter brings, and I just really enjoyed all the color that pops out in this. So thank you for watching, and if you do make this square, please share it with me. You can use the hashtag HollyJollyLightsSquare, and I would love to see what you've made. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my other videos. Bye-bye.